Hey there, how you doing? I'm Yalik, and in this Boom Beach video, I'm going to show you this hit on this bass, which is a bass I had singled out a couple of days ago in a video as being a pretty tough bass, and let's see why. Full disclosure, this was a fully boosted hit because I had just done my operation attack. But this is a pretty decent bass. Guy has 5 ice, 2 of them boosting. He's got the masterpieces back there, both boosted. I believe there's one down here. Yes, there's a damage guardian and 2 more damage guardians up there. So this guy's pretty serious about his building damage. Plus we have the defensive tribes going right now, HQ health and all defensive building damage. So this guy was ripping through my troops. I tried a few different strategies and they were just being shredded because that's even with the troop health out. But we were given Rainmakers over the weekend, and Rainmakers are they're just plain broken. They're just too good, and this is a perfect kind of base for them. They'll clean up most of these mines up front. All you really have to do is try to drop back at the corners of the shoreline. So we're going to drop some in here and drop some back over in here, and this will stay away from the boom cannons, pick those off, and then just start chewing our way through the base. I think I lost a medic on this attack. Good base design. He has a laser centrally located. It's a problem just about anywhere if you're using heavy Zuka or something. This laser is going to be a problem for you. 2 shields. I believe they're both shield 3s looking at them. Yes, I think that's the case. And like I said, 5-2 with his statues. Plus, things are in the right spot. I don't know if he came up with this layout or he copied this layout, but, you know, splatter, continuous damage, boom cannons, and rocket launchers around the HQ. Things are spread out. You can get a value shock on these 2 towers together or these 2 towers together, but generally he's got his ranged stuff spread out, and that's really hard for RCZM or HRCZM to deal with. This is definitely not. You might be able to do this full boosted with warriors. Also, he's a little further back than a lot of people with twin shield symmetrical layouts would be. So that actually makes it kind of questionable, even with warriors, because you're going to have to use a couple of extra smokes. Like you say, if you wanted to run up the side here and then run across, you'd have to use a couple extra smokes to pull off this hit, and you might not. You might not have the GBE to do it. The one thing that I will say about this layout is that both of his shield generators are surrounded by a cluster of economy buildings. You can see there. I don't know why people do that. It kind of confuses me. I wouldn't be able to do this normally, but because I was full boosted, I was able to BART out one of these. I think it's the right hand side. Let me let this run. Sort of do it as I gather GBE along the course of the hit. And while I'm BARTing that out, let's see. So you see the beach boom cannons are dropping. These suckers are so powerful, and their range is incredible. The biggest problem with these things, outside of prototypes, is your shock launchers, because they don't work quickly. Time will always be a factor. Yeah, there we go. Starting to BART that shield over there, and you see I'm getting all of the buildings around it, so that's even more free GBE, and I'm already farming the entire front of his base for GBE. The one problem with this approach, we'll continue to let it run. I'll actually put 1 times mode. The one problem with this approach here is that my medics are separated because my troops are separated. So the medics are not having the ability to save the troops. Over here we've got some damage, and then they're continually getting stuck having a healing party with each other, and that's not what we need. So I ended up having to break off that approach midway through. If it weren't for that, I could probably have just kept going straight up the middle of the base and grabbing GBE, but and we're getting very close on that shield over there. But with this laser, the laser was actually doing a good amount of damage, and the splash from these, particularly the rocket launchers, was putting in some work. But yeah, and the medics, it's not like a couple medics will stay and heal one thing, or no, they just all run to, you know, to one side back and forth, and they're wasting their time running, and they're not healing up my troops, which is what I really want. So at this point, the far shield is down, working over to far, meaning the one furthest from me and the base. It's on the opposite side of the HQ. So now working on this one, and then really there's nothing else here. It's done. It's over with. I could have probably set the thing down and closed it out, and I still would have won at this point, which is my point with these things, is that they are way overpowered. I literally did that on my lower account. The lowest level, 46, doesn't have instant training, otherwise known as endless reserves. So on that account, I don't get to clear a map very often. So when I get the chance, I boost up my resource reward and just go to town with these guys. So I was taking a resource base back, not because I expected to keep it, but just so I could grab a few extra resources over the course of the night. And it was an easy resource base, so I literally started the attack, dropped troops, and walked away. At one point, I was making soup with, I was cutting the vegetables, and every now and again look over and, maybe redirect with a flare or something, keeping an eye on things generally, but not actually playing the game, letting the game play itself. So these things are just bonkers. This should have been a really, really difficult base, which is why he had stayed on my map for a couple days, because this base design was a very good one. This was a pretty tough base. So yeah, we know they're powerful. The question is, are they too powerful? And I think the answer has to be yes, just based on that fact alone. It's not like there's any special skill involved, like warriors or Zookas or anything like that, but it's even more pronounced than that. It's not just that there's no special skill, it's that literally you can set the game down and walk away from it, and you'll still win. So anyway, they wanted to show that, and every time these things come around, I say the same thing about them. I'm not trying to knock them. They're great. They're just a little too great is the thing. I don't mind. It does. Maybe they're just throwing that out there as like for my lower level account, players like that who don't get to enjoy that very often. So maybe they're throwing us a bone. I don't know. But one way or another, these things are just ridiculous. And I think mine are pretty much gone on this account. I only got them for like a day. Yeah, they're gone. But that's alright, I don't use them very much here. Although in that one case, it was helpful to have them around. Anyway, if you like the video, thumbs up and that stuff. And that's all I've got for you right now, so I'll catch you later.